Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Side B of StrangeCast, episode 95, I believe it is. Judge Riaz is here, and I'm back with the Eagle, Adam Evalt, my co-host.
Yes, I am here. And today on Side B, we're going to be talking about topics.
Topics. That's what we're talking about. So obviously Side A is available. It was available on the Monday, hopefully. I was say hopefully,
Yes.
I don't know what the schedules are going. So it was available on Monday, and we split this into two parts because, again, on social media, hopefully, by the time we've done these as well, we'll be revealing why we've been doing this, because we have a very busy day, and I've roped Adam into a very busy Saturday. So before we start, if you are new here, please do like the video. Even if you don't like the video, like this video. Judge Riaz will sentence you to 50 years of eating Frank's beans if you don't. For the rest of your life, you'll be eating Frank's beans.
Isn't that good?
Well, I don't know. Do you see Frank's beans in the... I'm not throwing shade at Joyce Price's skills, but I'm like, come on, man. Like, it's a little bit like...
Yeah, I like beans. And I identify with Frank, though, so...
Yeah, you're literally a spirit animal. You could literally pull the Frank look off if you wanted to. Get into an RV.
I could. And I like my beans, so yeah. I'm like, that sounds nice.
Fair enough. If you do not like this video, Max will pick up the plate and constantly throw your beans on the floor. That's what's going to happen.
There you
Forever
go.
you will be haunted by the trauma of not eating beans. So that's a better way of putting it. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So go and check us out on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts. Please do rate us and like us and follow us on that. It helps you get to keep up to date with all the content that comes out. It helps boost our visibility as well. We have 297 followers on Spotify. We have over 40 ratings at 4.8 ratings. So thank you so much for that as well. But please do rate us as well. It really does help our algorithm on podcast services. So Adam, this will probably be a bit of a shorter version, and there's not many topics in here, but there's a big one, and we've split this apart again. So anyone who's new here as well, we split the podcast apart because time purposes and a lot of things are happening at the moment and the wheels are rolling in different ways. But this was a big news that happened in the week that we're recording, which is the 15th of March. So Adam, shall I pull this up for us and we can get into it, because there's probably a lot to take away from this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this was sneakily announced on the Deck9 website. I think this in itself shows a bit of a weakness from Deck9 not having a marketing department to kind of really roll out a press release with this or externally liaise it to a press person. But Deck9 put on here on the 8th of March, Deck9 Games, renowned for its critically acclaimed cinematic narrative adventure games, including Life is Strange series and The Expanse, a Telltale series, today announced the launch of its new co-development services specializing in creating high-quality, emotional resonance cinematics for other game developers. Building on its established expertise in storytelling and visual direction, Deck9 now offers partners the opportunity to leverage its proven pipeline and talented team to elevate their in-game cinematic experiences. This new service allows developers to enhance their projects with the studio's signature blend of compelling narratives, authentic character performances, and visually stunning cutscenes. Jeff Lynchford, who is COO, Chief Operating Officer of Deck9 Games, said in a quote, "At Deck9 Games, we understand the power of cinematic storytelling to immerse players and deepen their connection to a game's world and characters. We're excited to offer our expertise to other developers, helping them bring their visions to life with the same level of quality and emotional impact that our fans have come to expect from our titles." So as you can see here in the news piece as well, if you're listening to the audio version, Deck9 Games' cinematic co-development services include narrative design and script writing, character performance and motion capture, cinematic direction and composition, animation and visual effects, sound design, and music and technical iteration. I'm not going to read out the sentences because they're quite long. So commitment to collaboration. Deck9 Games' commitment to quality and collaboration makes them an ideal partner for developers seeking to elevate their cinematic storytelling. The studio's experience in creating award-winning narrative experiences ensures that every project is handled with meticulous attention to detail and a passion for crafting compelling stories. The main man, Mr. Webb Pickers-Gill, the studio's performance capture director, and also, the studio's motion capture director, the performance director on Life is Strange, True Colors, and Double Exposure said, and I quote, "Our co-development services are designed to support any studio from just beginning to explore in-game cinematics to those with major franchises requiring high volume, high quality production. We're eager to collaborate with developers of all sizes and genres, helping them create unforgettable moments that resonate with their audiences," end quote. And as you can see here on the website, the co-development service is live. There's more details in here. As you can see, contacting Deck9. Services are offered pre-production, production, post-production details. Statistics there as well, 4 times narrative cinematic narrative games shipped, 35 plus hours of handcrafted cinematic cutscenes, a 1,300 square foot motion capture studio, 755 actors available in the talent-based roster, awards and nominations as well. Their clients that they've worked with, Telltale Games, Square Enix, a couple of scenes here as well. There's Kara G. Adam as well. We know from the Expanse days that working there with Jeff Rorick. Motion capture set as well. There's Erica Mori, Katie Bence. What's Ryan's actor called? Oh wow, I can't remember his name is now. Oh no. I can't remember his name is. I'm gonna kick myself there for not knowing that. As you can see here, the Expanse set, Life is Strange True Colors set, Deck Nine's motion capture, which is in-house built. There's the main man, Mr. Webb Pickersgill, on performance direction. I believe that's from, it looks like True Colors, I believe, if anything. I think it looks like True Colors. I can't remember it being thingy. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. So as you can see, the motion capture there, peek behind the scenes, and also as well the engagement process as well of how they'll do the timeline. I'm not going to read through everything because these are services that you can liaise, if anything. And Adam, last one here as well. This was me just tweeting about it as well. I tweeted here saying that they announced it. There was this statements from Webb and Thingy. Whole 9 yards being offered. And the main one here was Webb Pickersgill, Deck Nine's motion capture director on Life is Strange True Colors and Dual Exposure, is heading to Game Developers Conference this month, which I believe has started as well, I think, around about this time, or is going to start in the week that's coming. So he is there and he's flexing the motion capture arm. And he says, if you work in game dev and you have a need in cinematics, please give me a shout. I'll be at GDC next week and I'd love to meet up and give you more details. So big news out from Deck Nine. Adam, your initial reactions, or if you'd like me to talk.
No, it just makes sense that they're actually doing this. It makes sense that they're doing this because I always say, like, as a composer, if you want to make a living off of this, it's not just composing. You have to have at least 6 different avenues of revenue, to even just get a livable wage. Because unfortunately, it's just entertainment industry in general. You can't just rely on the one thing. It has to be multiple things. So the fact that they're opening up their studio for other developers to come in and use their resources, it's just another source of revenue to keep Deck Nine alive. So altogether, it makes sense, and they've done great work on motion capture in general. So good call by them.
Yeah, look, however you feel about Deck Nine, especially on that game development side and their narrative side as well, that's fine. If you actually sit here trying to criticize the motion capture, I'll jump through the screen and slap you repeatedly. Now, I'm not someone who intimidates violence, but the last 3 games have been... well, as I said, the dog will bark one day, and when it happens, it's going to be brutal as well as someone. With the games, the last 3 games that they've produced, right? The Expanse, Double Exposure, and True Colors, the performance direction has been hands down the best attribute in pretty much all those games. I think the Expanse is a better collective project overall. I think the game direction is fantastic. That's why I put it on a kin. But Deck Nine has 2 very talented motion capture directors there, and this is like very good for them. Am I saying glossing over, saying it could work and be amazing? It might not be. It could be a roll of the dice. It could be the same as Lost Records going on PS Plus. It could be a gamble or it could be genius from it. In itself, the production pipeline that Deck Nine works on in terms of making games in motion capture is head and shoulders over every department it has. The motion capture is always quality. It runs efficiently. There's downtimes between games. So obviously, when they're not making a game, they could use the motion capture studio for someone else as well. So it's great for them as well. Is it an immediate short-term fix? I don't think so. I think it's a long-term fix, because the other thing that happens here is you need clients. You need people to agree to it. And that's going to take time in itself as well. You just have Webb now out there putting feelers out at GDC, being like, oh, actually, we have a motion capture studio. If they can build a brand and reputation off it, fantastic. Because again, he is a fantastic performance director.
Yeah.
He has a big history in film work as well, in terms of like cinematography and stuff. Night and day clear. In itself as well, again, you have Zach Andrews, who's the performance director on The Expanse. Fantastic performance director. And one of the things I think people are forgetting about this news as well and haven't talked about, Deck Nine has worked with both video games and also with SAG actors. Because if you remember when we spoke to Zach Andrews, he worked with Kara G and some of the other actors. And when Kara G came on set, the minute she came on set, it was SAG protocols. The entire project was done under SAG protocols. So it's like they've worked with actors who are non-union. So in itself, long term, if they're smart, this could extend to anime projects. It could extend to films, maybe in some kind of capacity,
Yeah.
whether it needs motion capture. It could extend to that. Web, for example, could become a VO director as well for other projects. So they could use the motion capture technology in unison with being like a studio as well in Colorado, which is like a bit of a hub. I agree with you. The funding is important here because it feels like
Yeah.
Deck Nine is doing no different from what Don't Nod has done with the reorganization project. And it's like, oh, we're actually open to working with publishers. And it's like they're fighting for survival. Both studios are fighting for survival in this industry because it's a ruthless industry. We've talked about it before. Look at Monolith, for example, collapsed under
Yeah.
Warner Bros. No studio is safe. And to
Yeah.
sustain your future, this could be a very good success story for Deck Nine. It could also be a big gamble. It could not pay off from it. But I think the projects that they've done, their motion capture is very highly thought of. And we alluded to it at the end of the last episode as well. Imagine, I love Philip Bark. I adore Philip Bark. I think he's fantastic as a VO director. But we've already talked about the criticisms with like Lost Records in terms of the lip syncing hasn't been as great, and they've done separately performance from VO work. But imagine Oscar Gilbert opening up the checkbook and being like, Deck Nine, can you do the performance direction on our next game? Like, the Lost Records game.
Yeah.
And they shoot the entire game there with the actors, and they shoot it with like, Michelle can be there on like a scat. Oh my God, man. Imagine that. There's no hands down. And amid the quote unquote Deck Nine Don't Nod war as people fight online.
Yes.
Deck Nine has excelled in the motion capture side, has excelled in the production side, the way that things are presented. And imagine harnessing that with Don't Nod storytelling. And oh my God almighty. That's it. When I see a photo of the main man, Mr. Webb Pickersgill, stood next to the main man, Luke Bagados, and the main man, Michelle Coe, announcing the next Lost Records game. Oh my God. Sold. And Cass Arukamori is the main character as well, because we need that. She's a fantastic actor.
Yes, sir.
I think this is interesting place to be for the future of the franchise. I think Deck Nine is probably weighing up a lot what happens in game development going forward as well. Rightfully so, because Life is Strange is stagnating it. We just literally done an episode about Square Enix's sales. I think this will be the right path for them, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's just the entire games industry in general. I mean, look at the Xbox right now. Like, Xbox is just stagnant, and now they're becoming more. You would think that they're becoming more software rather than hardware, but now there's rumors of them coming out with a handheld with the Asus RG Ally. I'm just like, come on, man. So yeah,
Adam, what is it in the industry at the moment? What do you think it is? Because for me as well, like I'll kind of context this as well, because I'm really interested in your perspective of it, and it's in the general scope of Life is Strange and stuff. I think I lived through the golden generation of the video games in different decades. I think I lived through those as well. I missed the 80s, but I probably missed the early 80s, which is a good thing as well when the crash happened. But I think I lived through the golden era of like the 90s, the 2000s, even like the early to mid 2000s as well, right? And we had golden success stories. We still have good games now as well. I like Lost Records and stuff like that. But they don't capture the hearts and minds and souls of it. And I'm in my 30s. I'm still interested in games, but I'm so picky. You know it as well. You're like, you'll recommend me something. I'm like, okay, because Adam's recommended it, I'm going to play it. Because otherwise, I'm not going to be bought off it. What do you think's happened to the industry to put it in the state that it's in? Because it feels like...
Yeah, I've got an answer right now.
Go on.
It went too big. Like, it went too big. Yeah. There's too much. I mean, look at... Okay. So, games that you've enjoyed that I've recommended to you. Let's take a look here. Oxenfree.
Yeah.
You loved it. Small game, small studio. Duck Detective. Small game, small studio. What's another game that I recommended to you that you actually loved? There's like a couple of them.
Well, I offered you the console as like a return. That was a smaller game.
But small game. Generally, that feels like an Xbox 360 game, PS3 era game. Because like what I'm trying to get at is that when you go too big, right? And they're saying like games are getting more expensive. Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah,
it's because of corporate capital. There we go. It's because of corporate capital, shareholder greed, saying that like the bigger return, the better. That's why movies are just so bland right now, because like the safer, the better, the bigger, the better. But then You look at movies like Godzilla's Minus Zero, which is a small team, small budget, and that movie was amazing, dude. What I'm trying to get at is that when you make an industry too large, right, which is what happened with the 80s crash, you made way too big of decisions, way too many shareholders, way too many hands in the cookie jar. A lot of people blame ET, but I highly, highly, highly recommend listening to or reading what was the book called? It's about the ET game and Howard Scott Warshaw's
Was it Schreier's?
book about
No, it's a
what's that?
I thought it was Jason Schreier.
No, not Strier's. No, it's Howard Scott Warshaw's autobiography of what the industry did to crash the industry. And basically it just comes down to it got way too big for its britches. So this long answer that I'm trying to give you is that like when you make an industry too big and you try to say that it's too expensive, nobody wants that. Everybody wants the smaller games. Everybody wants the 360 style games where it took 8 to 10 hours to make, or 8 to 10 hours of beats, you know?
Was it Harold Goldberg, you say?
No. Howard Scott Warshaw.
Howard Scott Warshaw.
Howard Scott Warshaw. That is
try on your book.
Excellent.
Open. Once Upon a Time Atari.
Yeah, Once Upon Atari. Yeah.
Yeah, Once Upon Atari. How I made history by killing an industry.
It is a great read, dude, because he's proud of the work he did on ET, but he's like saying like everybody blames ET, but here's what actually happened. And he talks about everything that led up to the 83 crash. So, and it's just like you read it now and it's so relevant to what's happening. You know, people getting sick of it. Way too many hands in the cookie jar. People like business people got way too greedy with it.
Yeah.
And it's happening now. So I think people are just getting sick of that. You know,
it's funny you mentioned that as well because it's always my fun fact. I've got this as well, RCS.
Yeah,
but on here as well for a fun fact. If you don't know in history, if you see there the golden label of Nintendo, the quality that came out after the Atari crash, where Nintendo puts it, it's the seal of approval on every Nintendo game. They basically authenticate all the games and keep it quality. And in itself as well, we've always talked about as well when we were in the 30s, people still played Nintendo as well. They more gravitate towards Nintendo because it's like those wholesome quality fun games. And you're probably right as well. You are right as well. The monolithic publishers that have come in have like butchered this industry. Because like, for example, we're talking now, Assassin's Creed Shadow is out this month. Assassin's Creed, me and you loved old school Assassin's Creed, and we've been so detached from the series. I haven't bought a brand new Ubisoft game since Watch Dogs. I lost all faith in that publisher. You've been on a boycott of Ubisoft. You talk about ages. And it's like, you look at their stock value, it's like plummeted. Like, is it the Gilmour family? The Yves Gilmour?
Gilmour. Yeah.
Gilmour, sorry.
Which I recommended to you during the Mario Day sales of Mario plus Rabbids, which is a Ubisoft title. But I'm like, you know what? That's an exception.
Yeah.
Get Mario Rabbids because that's such a good game.
But again, that's like the shining example where Ubisoft games do shine because it's like actually there's a good quality game, but instead you're banging on about Assassin's Creed and trying to make it this 200-hour experience where there's like another watchtower and there's more microtransactions in the game, and it becomes soulless. And it's like when I look at Lost Records when we play it, it's like I hope Don't Nod finds some financial good footing where it's like we continue to get games at that level. And I even said it to you in a hot take where I was like, I don't even want Lost Records to be a sleeper hit. I don't want that franchise to be forever haunted by the first entry like Life is Strange has. I hope it's a steady success. I hope it's a good success that gives foundation for more Lost Records games that are like, that start building on that success and then gets like the catapulting success. It's always difficult when you have a first game when it goes like that. Like, has Life is Strange ever repeated the same feat since then? No. Life is Strange 1, my hot take has always been this as well. Life is Strange 1 has been the biggest curse for Don't Nod, Deck 9, and Square Enix. None of them have ever got out of the hauntingness of this. It was a major success, and they have all just struggled to find footing post that. And it's like with Deck 9 at the minute, maybe Deck 9's future is a VFX studio. Maybe it's a VFX studio / motion capture. I don't know why I'm saying VFX. Maybe it's like a production studio. Maybe it is that. Maybe it does what Mocap Lab did for Don't Nod back in France when they did the first Life is Strange, where you could record stuff. In itself, for me, this stems that Deck 9 is restructuring. And I think it's been restructuring since last November when the layoffs started happening in December. if anything, I could see this turning into a streamlined process where they basically make one game and they put one team on it and they work on that. And then they have enough people in the studio to turn over one game in process, not doing two games, i.e. like the Expanse and True Colors. That's my feeling on it. They still have talented devs at that studio. They still have enough to make a game in that studio. They will make another game from that studio. I'm pretty much sure, tacked on for that, at least for now. That makes sense to me. And it wouldn't surprise me if layoffs did come from it. I don't know if they will at this point in time. But I'm just seeing, like, in terms of restructuring the studio, the motion capture could be their saving grace because it is a studio that has had success with it and it can liaise those services as well. Because, like, as I said, you could go up to someone and be like, oh, we've actually worked with SAG actors. We have SAG actors and we have schedule time here because we're not making this game now with motion capture. And it's like, we can do that. So it's like, maybe that is the option. And I've kind of talked about this before to you, Adam, as well. Said, like, I didn't think that Square Enix would move away from Deck 9 until because of that motion capture studio, because how many studios have motion capture built in? Like, in itself, Square Enix is rolling out Life is Strange games, making a loss on them, but it would cost them more to go and work for another studio and then do the motion capture separately. Because you're gonna have to do the performance capture directly separately. How many studios do you know in America at the moment have a performance capture studio in the same vein as Deck 9 built into their studio? I mean, in that sense. Donut had to do it separately. Donut Montreal had to do that separately from that. But it's like, you have to, like, factor these in. Does it mean that Deck 9's forever going to hold the license? No. Contracts change, things change. I think Deck 9 wants to seek its own independence. It has no different ambitions from, like, Donut. And I've said this before as well. Frost is the future of that studio. Get Stefan Frost a great IP from a publisher, which you can, like, bankroll on that and get a game made from it. Like, he is the future of that studio. You don't need Life is Strange anymore. And it's itself as well. Life is Strange won't succeed while Square Enix is running it. So it's like, just go with the process of it. Motion capture is their future as well. I think if they can harness this and think of smart ideas to businessly root this could be fantastic. But again, truly, and I'll say this as well, roll the dice. You could land on sixes, it could land on ones. And I'm not going to sit here glossing saying that Deck 9 is going to financially recover and be like, oh, and it's going to, like, fight its way back in the industry. It's truly that. And it's the same with Donut. I bet you Oscar Gobert did the same thing with the PS Plus deal. It was like, oh, let's put it on PS Plus and let's see if it pays off or not. And it's like, these studios are doing what they need to do to survive in this industry. And you're right as well, because the industry is, like, stagnant.
A menace.
Yeah. It's
play Duck Detective.
Yeah, they in itself as well. Here's a comparison, just before we wrap up. That, like, you can't survive in this industry unless you're Hideo Kojima, because, like, Hideo Kojima could walk into any studio, any publisher, they'll finance his game, but other studios can't have that luxury anymore because, like, the publishers have become too strong. Like, every publisher has become so strong that, like, you can't have, like, an individual figure who succeeds from it. Look at, like, Amy Hennig, Jade Raymond. They've all struggled, and it's like they've not been able to produce the games like Kojima has. Kojima has that style, like, doing with Death Stranding. It creates the magic of, like, an industry where it's like, oh, actually, it's that unique idea that we saw 10, 15 years ago, but he's a rare exception that you get to do it because of what happens. Now it's like Guerrilla Games, oh, you just make Horizon games. And it's like, before that, they just made Killzone games. And it's like, hang on a minute, give them creativity, give them space. But instead, wrap up here, because I'm rambling. It's summed up perfectly for me by this. Sony releasing Days Gone remastered whilst absolutely obliterating Ben's studio. Because it was like, actually, oh, we'll just do the remastered now, despite the fact that we've destroyed destroyed any hopes for a sequel. But no, we'll just do this. I'm not having it.
Yeah, no, it's dumb.
I'm just going to close that because of the light that's coming in. But yes, should we move into our next couple of pieces? They're very small anyway, and we'll wrap up here. After that, I wish Deck 9 the best luck with that as well. I don't see any loss in them doing that, and their motion capture is always very good for that. I've just shared the wrong screen, so let's move into our next piece of news. Here are little bits of news. It's going to be a variation of little announcements here. Adam, 7 years ago,
wow,
Life is Strange Before the Storm Farewell DLC was released.
I had hope back then.
We did. We all had hope, Adam. As you can see, that was Max and Chloe. We all had hope. Who would have thought that we were doing StrangeCast in 2025, and this is where the franchise would be, and our fan base would be absolutely divided and just absolutely obliterated. Magic there from Before the Storm, back when Deck 9 was like had the co-development leads and everyone else in the right place. Webb Pickersgill in the co-director's chair, Chris Floyd in the co-director's chair. You had writers in there that weren't like getting an ego trip and making a game. This is one of the best DLCs ever made. I will say that.
Yes.
I'm not going to toot on too much because we do this every year with it, but it is one of the best DLCs. I would probably put it behind Minerva's Den from BioShock, if anything. Because that is an
BioShock 2
DLC.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that DLC saved
the
that
game.
game. It saved
absolutely
it, didn't it?
saved it. Yeah. God, dude. Yeah.
Because
I would say, yeah, it's up there.
Because funnily enough, I played that game at launch. I got really disappointed with, but it was okay. It wasn't BioShock 1, but it was okay. And then years later, when the remastered collections came out as well, and they included the DLC, that's the first time I played Minerva's Den. And everyone's saying, oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. I was like, okay, let's see it. And I was like, God damn it. I was like, if this would have been the main game, I was like, oh my God, you would have like nailed it. But unfortunately,
that's me with Far Harbor from Fallout 4. Like that's definitely like my take too.
Oh yes, was Blood Dragon another big DLC like release?
Blood Dragon. You're talking about Far Cry Blood Dragon?
Was that Far Cry?
Yeah, that was a Far Cry like separate. It was supposed to be a DLC. Blood Dragon. If you're referring to the right one,
with Michael Biehn in it. Is it Michael Biehn in it? Or am I thinking about Fallout? Am I getting confused here? I feel like I'm getting confused.
Yeah, because Blood Dragon is, hold on, boom. This is Blood Dragon.
Yes, that's one.
Yeah, so this was like it was supposed to be a DLC, but it became just a separate game entirely.
So they actually released it as a standalone game.
Yep, it was a standalone, but it was supposed to be a DLC. But yes, I do agree with you that Blood Dragon was also freaking amazing, dude.
That post was amazing as well. Oh,
yes.
The feels on that is so
3,
nostalgic. That was when Ubisoft back in its like more of its prime era.
Its heyday. 2013 it came out. 2013.
Why can't I just go back there? It was like that was like when we were just recovering from the financial crisis, and it's like, oh, actually things are getting a little bit better. Adam, last pieces of news. Don't Nod here. Little tweet on the 11th of March. Even chaos has its charm, especially when it's you. Happy birthday, Chloe, which is quite a nice little video there. I also like this as well. That was their first post as well, which is a reference to Chloe's birthday. And then Life is Strange Twitter page, happy birthday, Chloe Elizabeth Price. What would you give Chloe on her birthday? Do we dare go in the comments?
Let's do it. Yeah. And Life is Strange's comments. Yeah, let's see
I'm
what
sure
we got.
I know what the comments are.
Happy birthday. Oh, you mean blue-haired girl?
There's always, to be honest as well, they're not completely out there.
Yeah.
But this is not going to get away from like, how people feel about that. Where's Keno?
Yeah.
No, Keno. I can't see. That's all right. Yeah. Usually there's one culprit in here. There's Thomas Murch as well. My gift, a bulletproof beanie. I like that idea.
Oh, yo. Jeez.
Kev.
That's outrageous.
Chloe mentioned on main, happy birthday. I'd give the respect she deserves by being vaccinated. Oh, yo. Admin is having, can just, yeah. Yeah, this is, I think relatively, the reaction is like, obviously celebrating Chloe Price, but, people's like, anger and stuff is still there and feelings as well. Because I imagine as well, if you're doing happy birthday Chloe Price on the 11th of March now.
Yo, somebody commented a father figure. Yo.
What?
Stop.
Where are we going there? I missed that. Oh my God.
Yeah,
father
I forget.
That is like
a father figure. Oh
my God. I can't believe I missed that.
Calm down, everybody.
Oh, there is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
With Safi profile picture. Wow. Staying alive. You are. That could be that's sentencing to the abyss. That's Judge Riaz's ruling on that. It's funny as well because like Deck 9 celebrated Safi's birthday just before it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like no mention from the Life is Strange main. And it's like just placed, just conveniently placed before Chloe's Y square. Like think about it as well. If you were to put Chloe in the game and like she was aged to Max's age, you could have marked it and people were like, oh, look at her now, she's so much older and stuff. No.
Yeah.
No. Instead, we're left here. Instead, StrangeCast is like stagnating. We're fretting for the future. Deck 9's changing into mocap division. We're sitting here thinking, oh, what the hell's the podcast going to be in 10 years' time? Or something. God only knows.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm not over how badly a studio can mess up things. It's just madness for me. Adam, should we move into comment of the day then?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect. We're actually going to bring Spread the Arts back in as well. We've decided because we've got time here, but we're going to bring this comment in here. So this is from at the Lost Fan 2010. This was on the previous episode from episode 94. And they put, and it's a good take actually, I think, personally. One concrete thing I always point to differentiate Michel Coe's characters writing from anyone at Deck 9 is the protagonist's inner monologues. Max in LSI 1, Sean and Swan all have richer inner lives and tend to philosophize,
yes.
Yeah, and wax poetic as well as comment on things and make little jokes. BTS Chloe, Alex, and DE Max are stripped of that, with their internal observations being much more banal. Is that actually a word?
Banal. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
If it is, I've lived and learned.
Yeah.
You see Adam highlighting it out, and relying solely on the latter two tendencies, and their characterization is all the poorer for it. End quote. So Adam's going to do some investigation onto that word, and if we have learned the word of the day on the podcast.
Banal is not original, fresh, or exciting. Stale, commonplace, or banality.
I like that. At Lost Fan 2010, you have been spared your custodial sentence, the Abyss, for actually getting the word right and teaching me and Adam a lesson. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very good take, personally. Obviously, I would include with Michel, I'd include Jean-Luc Cano, who's pretty much written all those games with him and co-written them. I think it's a very good take. I think Michel Coe, as we've spoken about before, doesn't do bad games and does great character writings. And it's not even necessarily the story as well, because I think even if you don't like Life is Strange 2, I would argue that the characters are written well. And before you try and come in here and be like, oh, well, Life is Strange 2 is woke and it's not good stories. Tell you what, it's the only entry in the series where 3 of its actors got nominated for a BAFTA. That's how
Can we
good they
also
were.
here's something you can stand on when people say like, Kojima went woke with Death Stranding 2. Like he's all about, I'm like, every single Metal Gear game has been about politics. Every single one of them. What are you talking about? It's like, he's talking too much about politics now. Wake up. Same people that say like, Green Day is woke now. What are you talking about? They're like always. Anyways, so yeah, no. People need to. So, from the Lost Fan. Great take, like absolutely great take. This is the difference between a well executed writer who understands the human condition and somebody who just sees characters. Like that's it. So
it's just
yeah.
But this is what I said. Imagine that Michel Coe and Jean-Luc and their writing and their character stories and Lost Records being fused with Deck 9's. Oh my god, Oscar Gilbert, open the war chest in the France HQ.
Yes.
Get your key, put it in, and then be like, here you go, Webb. Here's the money, and like get it. Oh my god! By the way, as well, let me just about to say, wouldn't it be funny if Deck 9 and Don't Nod teamed up on a game where it's like a Lost Records version, and it turned into a spiritual, it turned into a sleeper hit, and then it started rivaling Square Enix. Oh my!
That would be great, dude.
Just desserts, wouldn't it? It would be amazing. That's the one thing I hope that comes from this. It's like some way, shape or form, Don't Nod somehow teams up with them. They make like a Lost Records game. It goes sleeper hit, and it's like Deck 9's like, Deck 9 Square Enix is like, dear Lord. And it's like, lessons to be learned. Great take though. Jean-Luc and Michel, their character writing is, but again, it's that as you said, it's the talking about when it's a big publisher, and it's like, you don't get that same creativity this way. You get it from the independent developers, the people who've consumed all their influences. You look at Jean-Luc's like stories, and it's like he's going watching Oasis, and he's like no different from like Michel in terms of the culture that he like consumes. Same with Michel, the David Lynch of video games. It's like that art style, that direction, everything else is all enhanced by it. And it's a really good take with Life is Strange as well. I think this is the problem with Deck 9, man. Like, why didn't you get better writers in? They've held onto this writing team for like as long as they did before they laid off the majority of them. Night and day difference. And because you can agree with this as well, The Expanse is a better written game than any of Deck 9's games to date.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I can agree with that.
Not going to argue with it. The Expanse was not a commercial hit, but as a project, it's Deck 9's best project today. I would argue that's the hill and back. And the only thing that you could rival from from the Expanse project is the motion capture that Webb does on True Colors and Thingy, because I think you have two equally great performance directors, but the Expanse again showed where like, the writing was night and day clear of it. That's why when people say like Deck Nine doesn't know how to write, I'm like, one of their projects they wrote really well. I'm like, that was a fantastic project. So as you will from that. So we're done here. Adam, spread the art. Should we close off here? Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I will go first. I will go first because I have a message to everyone who's listening to this. A message to say that before I even get to this, I want to free yourself. I want you to take the red pill of saying that, hey, I'm cringe. I'm a cringe human being. I am so uncool. I'm telling you right now, the second you free yourself into saying that, like, oh, well, something is so cringe, you're a geek. I'm sorry. You're a geek. You're a dork. If you're listening to a Life is Strange podcast willingly, you're a geek. And the more that you free yourself in saying that, me and Adnan are geeks, no matter how cool you think you are. Luke Bagados, giant geek. Okay? Free yourself. Because the more you say that something is, oh, it's too cringe to watch because you think that somebody's going to think you're uncool, guess what? You're uncool. I'm sorry to tell you that. Free yourself. Free your mind. And the more you free your mind, the more you will enjoy your life. And the more you're going to enjoy Pokemon Concierge, baby. Pokemon Concierge on Netflix is cringe as hell. But guess what? Guess what, baby? By this take here that you're a dork and you're just uncool, you can enjoy Pokemon Concierge. I liked it. Pokemon Concierge on Netflix. So this is your exercise to say, like, I'm going to free my mind and say, giant Dorkasaur on the looses right now. Pokemon Concierge is on Netflix. It is 4 episodes long, only 4. They're each 22 episodes. And it's cute. It's wholesome. It's stop motion. So it's a stop motion, like, I don't know if they're claymation. I don't believe it's claymation, but it's similar to claymation. But it's about this girl who loses her boyfriend, loses her job. Things aren't right, so she goes off to this resort for Pokemon. That trainers drop off their Pokemon there, and she has to help all the Pokemon feel comfortable. She's the concierge, she's like saying, like, are you having a good time? And there's a shy Pokemon there that she's like saying, like, maybe I'll take this under my wing, wink wink. But yeah, no, it's just cute, wholesome, loving Pokemon. There's some cringy lines to it, but if you watch it in Japanese, the voice acting is great. If you watch it in just English, it's still fine. But I'm just saying right now, it's just cute, wholesome, Pokemon loving claymation, 4 episodes long, 22 minutes each. It is cringe. But guess what? Guess what you are? You're listening to this podcast. You are Cringeosaurus Rex. I'm telling you right now, free your mind. Watch Pokemon Concierge. Embrace your dork, okay?
Is there a Pokemon
Concierge?
Is there actually a Pokemon called Cringeosaurus Rex in there? Because it sounds like the kind of Pokemon names they'd give now.
It's everybody listening to this. You're all Cringeosaurus Rexes. I'm just telling you right now. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it a lot. If you just like allow yourself to enjoy things, and I'm saying that, allow yourself to enjoy things. Pokemon Concierge was actually like a good time. It's nice, wholesome fun.
It's done well, Pokemon, to hold itself up in this day and age and climate. I think like maybe my personal thing is that they've gone too far with how many Pokemon there are in there and like the mega evolutions.
Oh god,
they lost me at that point. But I'm like, generally speaking, it has like held itself up quite nicely. But no, sounds like a good recommendation. That we'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
I have 2. So my first one, oh my god, right? Because I sent it to you as well.
Yes.
No one in this industry matches Hideo Kojima for making trailers, because the new Death Stranding 2 trailer came out. Oh my word. After you said it to me in that documentary, like he's like just sitting there on his lap. This man just made that on a laptop, just sitting on his.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
I saw the hidden gem inside of it. Yes.
God, 10 minutes of your best life. It is insane. Oh my! Like, by the way, he's had a history of trailers since like MGS2, even back then as well. Even with MGS1, like they've been great. He's never.
Do you think he's directly attacking Konami in that trailer?
Or that and the steak thing.
He's had enough. He's like, you know what? Screw it. Like I'm doing this.
Well, I mean, people would be like, well, because like that would go through that would go through Kojima's lawyers and like all of his departments and stuff. But it has to be like, yeah, obviously, like it seems like it's like, he should accept his history. That is like his history.
Yeah.
It's like a big part of his history,
Yes.
and you know, Konami might have the name, but it's not got the person behind it. Which it could be that. I feel like the metaphor might be that way. It's like the head coming on top of it. It's like that's him like reassigning himself. I feel like everything's like a laced metaphor here. But my word, the trailer is like in his technique and the way he tells. Oh my God Almighty! Keep Kojima at all costs. If I had like a rocket ship, he'd be on it. Michelle Coe would be on it as well. Like I need to like pick my top 5, but they would be definitely seated on there. Like unbelievable. I had to recommend it. Like if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I'm so excited for Death Stranding 2. Like it looks insane as well. The game looks visually insane. I've never seen anything like it. So that's that. And out of my other one as well, because it's my second one, I'm literally spreading the arts, quite literally as well, because this artwork is fucking insane. Like I don't try to not swear over it because I was trying like oh my God. I like sometimes I like watch different artworks. I look at them all and they're all amazing. This one like blew me away. Now I know Neko did one on Swan, which was amazing in itself, but this one is like blows it out of the water.
Really good work.
And we actually watched as well because we didn't realize there's a speed paint here which we'll put on whilst we're talking. And I had no idea because Adam was explaining this to me, like, how do you make? I was like, why is it like disappearing and coming? He was like explaining the process of it. But like, this is just mind blowing for a piece of art. Like Sam Bradley, the art director on Lost Records, and even Edward Kaplan, the famous Life is Strange artist, 100% would clap at this. Like that's how amazing it is. They would clap at anything anyway in terms of like they're really nice people as well. But like this is in their in their caliber. It's in their caliber. It's like if they said Sam Bradley on it, I'd be like, oh wow. It's like that's like I know he's done for Lost Records. This matches it. And I'm generally like insane. If you haven't, if you're listening to the audio version, come into the video version to just look at it because it's like insane. So do go and follow Neko as well. You can find them on Twitter as well. But just generally speaking, I was like, it's just like the video is just insane. Like, look at it. The details insane, man. Has Michelle seen this? I hope Michelle sees this. I know he listens to the podcast. No, he doesn't, but like
yes.
Michelle Coe. Where there's Lucky Fonts. Where is this? Where are you, Michelle? Have you followed this? Did you retweet it? We're doing Michelle watch here. I'm gonna give him credit because he's gone to GDC, so he might have thinking, well, look in the quotes. Where is he? Where's Michelle? Come on, show me Michelle. No. Adam, where are they? I
don't know, but Neko is also on Blue Sky.
You seen it? Michelle Coe's retweeted it. That is the seal of approval. I love that. Yeah, it's insane. That's just one of the best pieces of art. I love everyone has their own art and they're all great, but this is just insane. You could frame that and put it in a museum. If anything, I hope the Donna Montreal frame that and put it in their studio. It'd be great to see, if anything. So I think we'll end on that point. Two great geniuses, Neko and Hideo Kojima. I'm going to recommend there. So as you will. So Adam, we will sign off here. So thank you for joining us as well. As I said, it's a 2-part episode. Go and check out the first part if you haven't. Hopefully on social media, we'll reveal why we've been doing this 2 parts and kind of restructuring it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you are new here and you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, please like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe. If you do not, Pompidou will be thrown into the middle of the road. That's what's going to happen. Stick will go over Frank's camper RV, and it's going to go straight into the road, and Pompidou goes. That's what's going to happen. And then this dog will bark at you. The eagle will bark at you. So please do like the video. And also as well, we are available on all podcast services. StrangeCast is available on all podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything. So go and check us out there. Please rate us and like and subscribe as well on those platforms. It helps support our visibility. It helps you keep up to date with all the content, if anything. So we're going to wrap up here. Adam, schedule-wise as well, we're going to be changing things up for people as well. So just to let you know, when we record the next Lost Records Journal episode, it's not going to come in the week that you expect it to be. It's going to be a different format because I think we're going to take our segment where we rate the theories and we're just going to turn into a full episode. But for time relevance sake, because Adam will be disappearing because he's going to be traveling to the other side of the country. So we'll be reformatting that things. And hopefully, in the meantime, Abby will make her grand return at some point on the channel because we do need to record that podcast. So do stay tuned. There'll be other things. But then in April, we'll be back with the regular schedule, StrangeCast, Lost Record Journal, and Adam as well. 1 month from today, Take 2 rages out. 1 month from today.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. So
yeah, I can't believe it's like, we're recording this on the 15th. So yeah, definitely.
Month. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Right. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, take care. Bye.
Later.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.